Hi guys, just wanted to make a quick video on the tension between the United States and China. We all know, all at least of us who have eyes and a brain, we can see how China is rising economically, socially, uh, militarily, but not militarily in the same way the United States rose to prominence. China hasn't had to invade anyone or kill anybody to achieve their success. They have a military for self defense and to defend their territory. Uh, on the other hand, the United States is a country with a history of unnecessary conquest, wars such as Vietnam, Afghanistan, Iraq, Libya. At least, if not all out wars like in Libya, at least they get involved in those conflicts. Uh, But anyway, that's not the point. The whole point was to analyze the rising tensions between China and the United States. The United States is being left behind when it comes to technology, when it comes to their market share of the world. So the American companies are pissing their pants in fear of the rise of the Chinese companies. The state-owned Chinese companies are doing a lot better, creating better products at a better price, and are simply taking over the market. And the Americans are trying to do everything they can to stop that because they can't compete because they're ineffective. So I find it really, really interesting. Um, but sometimes I think what would happen in an all out conflict between China and United States, and the answer to me is pretty simple. Like I have visited China, so I know a little about China. I have my grandfather was Chinese, and I know a little about the culture, not too much. I'm not fluent in Chinese. I know very little Chinese, but at least I've been there a couple of times, and I really enjoy reading about their history. And there's no doubt in my mind, no doubt whatsoever, that China, if it's non-nuclear conflict, will simply beat the USA. They will wipe them out. I don't think America has the organizational unity and efficiency that China does, and the very proof is on their handling of the COVID situation. China is totally over COVID, at least right now, while US, it's, everyone knows how it is over there with the COVID. It's terrible. And this only shows that the communist government is more efficient in handling this type of situations, and it wouldn't be any different in a war. It would be just as efficient. They will use all their resources, all their unity, and the people of China know a lot more than the Americans about suffering. They know about war, they know about suffering, and they're willing to lay each each and everyone's lives on the line for it. They already were at war with the Americans in Korea, and they managed to defend and recover their territory over the territory of the North Koreans along with them. So the U.S. couldn't beat China back then. It can beat China right now, where it's stronger, more uh, more resolute, has a lot more resources, better organized. The U.S. is a country full of privileged uh, people in some sort of way, weak people to me, both in mind and body, and they simply cannot compete with the Chinese. I have no doubt about it. Like, if you go to China, you see how people live. They're getting so much better life, but at the same time, they're resilient people, people that work hard, people that have been through a lot of suffering, people who know how to stand. Um, how to stand against adversity and how to resist it. And when I compare that to the Americans, I just don't see any chance. I think it would be very, very dumb on the part of the Americans to keep rising tensions with China. And I hope China, if Americans are dumb enough to do that, not the American people, but the American government. If their government is dumb enough to do that, they will get wiped out. And I wouldn't shed a tear for America. I hope that whole imperialist nation gets wiped out. I hope Chinese influence keeps increasing. I hope China keeps growing. I think it's a great nation. I think their leader, Xi Jinping, is one of the, if not the greatest leader on the planet right now. He is a great leader with a great vision. And he actually is a defender of Stalin, which right now I think is the only modern leader I see defending Stalin. And I admire that a lot. I think Joseph Stalin was a great leader. And listen to this quote from Xi Jinping. I believe that for real communists, Stalin weighs no less than Lenin, and in percentage of right decisions, he doesn't even have an equal in world history. If he's, honest enough to say this openly, to me, that shows he has a knowledge of history. He's a true communist in many ways. Uh, if you're a communist, you must defend the legacy of Stalin. Stalin defended the revolution. Stalin defeated Hitler. It's thanks to Stalin that the communist legacy has a chance to had a chance to survive and to last as long as it did. So Stalin was a great man. He was a great communist, and I think Xi Jinping is a great president with a great vision. Has done a lot of good for China. He has really, really made a lot of reforms regarding corruption, um, and he has great plans for the country. If you read his book, The Governance of China, you'll have a better idea. So I recommend that book, Xi Jinping, The Governance of China. If you get a chance, download it for free, I think, or just buy it on Amazon. It's a very good book. Has all his speeches, and you can see there his view. And he has a very solid view of communism, and he has a very good plan for China now. China is right now a socialist economy with Chinese characteristics, and they have some sort of a mixed system. But they know that, and they know the reason they're doing that. And I think the decades to come will prove it. So I am very pro-Chinese. I'm pro-Xi Jinping. I am a communist, and I think Xi Jinping is carrying on the legacy of Stalin. And I think the Americans and the Europeans, even the Europeans, are realizing they should ally with China. Even on the surface, they may, uh, you know, agree with the United States. When it's time to make the deals, they're making the deals with China. I think the United States is isolating their allies, losing a lot of opportunities on the globe. And I think the Chinese Russian uh, bloc is gaining a lot of popularity in world diplomacy. But anyway, regarding to pure military power, if it's a nuclear war, it's a lose-lose for the entire world. But even then, I would side with China. I think the US is such an inefficient machine. It just cannot compete with this rising giant. And I wish all the best to the Chinese people. I think they're great people, generous, kind, and brave. And as far as the American working class go, also, I wish them the best. I hope they can take over their country. But I do not, I hate the United States government. I hate its imperialism. I hate all of their crimes. And if push comes to shove and they go to war with China, I just hope China accepts foreign fighters on their army, in which I would enlist very gladly. But I have no doubt in my mind China would kick the United States as when it comes to war or any other type of conflict. They're simply just too efficient.